Hi, this is Rene Godofroy, the founder of Speaking for a Living and the author of the book, Kick Your Excuses Goodbye. I want to actually reveal a secret about speaking in this video to you, and is going to really make a profound difference in your speaking career. I was speaking in Virginia, and the audience was about 1,500 people, and I had a great time connecting and interacting with the audience. After the presentation, I was having a conversation with one of the executives at the company, and she basically asked me this one question. She said, "Your presentation went extremely well. You connected with the audience, and you created an emotional impact. I want to know, okay, what is the one secret you can share with me when it comes to speaking? Because I give a lot of presentations for my company, and I can never do what you just did on the stage." And so I shared my secret with her because I saw her speaking before me. She did a short presentation, about 15 minutes or so, and my presentation was about 60 minutes, about an hour. And I didn't have PowerPoints, I didn't have notes, and I didn't refer to anything. I said to her, "Well, my secret is very simple. It's actually one word." Are you ready for it? I mean, yeah, are you? Story, okay? Or should I say stories, okay? And I'm going to take my time to actually explain to you what I mean by stories. Now, when you speak, or when I speak, the audience will never remember your philosophies, even though, yes, I did create a video and talk about the need to have your own philosophies or perspective, right? Because they pay you for your perspective. But they will not remember you for those kinds of things. Of course, that's great for your credibility. What they will remember your stories. Sometimes I would be at the airport traveling, and somebody would come to me and say, "Hey, I saw you speaking 15 years ago or 10 years ago, and I still remember this one story you shared with us." Do you understand? And they would go on to tell me whatever story, because everybody in the audience, they have a different kind of story that they resonate with. Now, this is in essence, if you have to master one skill, if you have to know one secret about speaking. Now, I'm not just talking about being a motivational speaker. I'm talking about being a speaker, period. Whether you are speaking with a group of friends at the family reunion, or group of family members, that would be, right? Not friends. But, okay, whether you are having a drink with some friends and you were telling a story, you were speaking, that is what speaking is all about. You are speaking, right? That's public speaking. Did you ever think about that? Yes, that is public speaking when you're speaking. Or you are a teacher, or you are a pastor, or you are a Sunday school teacher, or whatever it is that you deal and interact and talk with people, you will realize the moment you start telling a story, everything will shift in the audience or the listener. They become more attentive. Now, granted, you've got to master the art of storytelling. There are several books on Amazon. You can go and buy some books and read about them. They'll tell you a bunch of stuff, but the reality is I actually learned how to tell stories effectively by watching other speakers. And I don't mean motivational speakers only. I also mean the pastors and the teachers and how they communicate and stuff. Just the great people from the past and current. Actually, there are some TV evangelists. They can tell any story masterfully. You understand? But as I promised you, I told you how to connect with an audience emotionally. It is through stories. If you go, you just share facts and ideas, listen, you are actually a talking head. Because it is when you are connecting, when you are sharing a story, that you can actually connect with the audience. You can get to a point in the story where you pause. You can get to a point in the story when you ask somebody, have you ever felt that way before? Or what do you think I did in that situation? And you continue on with the story. You see my point? All right. Now, I'm going to show you, or I'm going to share with you the secret of storytelling itself. What would make a story really extremely powerful? And I'm going to make up something in the moment. I don't know. Maybe I'll get it right. Maybe I won't. But here it is. Okay. The secret, if you want to be a great storyteller, all right, you have to find the conflict in the story, the contrast, the conflict. And when I say I'm going to make up something, I'm actually going to make up something right about now to give you an example. Let's say that you are a young lady and you are going to marry your fiance or your boyfriend or whatever, all right? And then he proposed to you and you accepted. Okay, and you tell the story of when he proposed to you and you accepted and you guys set the date for the wedding and on and on. All right, that's a good story, but it's not really an exciting story that your boyfriend or your fiance or your boyfriend proposes you to marry him. There's nothing really exceptional about that. Now, here's what I'm going to share with you that's going to make it exceptional. What about if there were some conflicts within the story? Okay, so after the moment after he proposes to marry you, or maybe the next day, you discover that he was married before and he is not divorced. Now there is a conflict. There is something that you have to overcome. There's a hurdle. All right. All right. What about if there's another conflict? What about you discovered that the person that he is married to is actually your cousin that you've never met? Or what about if it was like a girlfriend, a friend of yours that you work with and you were best friends for a long time and something happened, you haven't spoken to her in a long time and you discovered, okay, that's first, he's married. Second, it's either your cousin from another country or it's your former best friend. Okay, that's a conflict right there. So what about the guy is, as an example, I know that happened. The guy was sick. He had cancer, but he never told her. And she didn't know, but she was madly in love with the guy. And so this is the point where she has to make a decision. All right. Should I marry him? Okay. Why didn't he tell me the truth? There's a bunch of conflicts, a bunch of stuff, but she really loves him. She is in love with him. So that's just an example, right? There could be so many examples. I mean, it's like you go into the grocery store to buy some food to eat, right? Actually, this one I didn't make it up because I remember I used that recently when I was talking about conflict in the story. Getting in your car to go get the food at the grocery store, there's nothing epic. There's nothing spectacular about that. It's just like, okay, you just went and got some food, you came home, you cooked it. But what if you had some conflict? From maybe you didn't have your clothes ready. They were in the cleaners. You forgot to pick up your cleaners, your clothes from the cleaners. Maybe you were looking for your keys. You couldn't find your keys in the house, your car keys. Maybe when you got out there, your car wouldn't start because your battery died. Okay. Maybe when you get in traffic is bumper to bumper and you are extremely hungry. You see, there is some tension, there's some conflict, there's some contrast in the story. That's what makes stories powerful. Okay? Ask yourself, what is the conflict? Okay, so what about when you are in traffic bumper to bumper? You realize, you know what? I'm just going to walk because the grocery store is not that far. You pull your car to the side and you go to the grocery store. You start walking, and when you come back, they towed your car. It's no longer there. Or maybe they left you a ticket for $1,000 that you only went to buy $20 or $30 worth of groceries, and now you have to pay $1,000. See, you begin to develop this story. The more conflict. Look, when you go to a movie theater and you sit in a movie theater and you find yourself on the edge of your seat, and you find yourself like you're just so caught up in the movie, and you just like, you forget what time it is, you forget the occasion, you even forget where you are, right? What was it? Well, it was because of the conflict of you want to know, okay, or the audience, they want to know how you are actually going to get over this hurdle. How are you going to solve this particular problem? By the way, how you solve the problem, that's your connection, how you make the point that is relevant to the audience. Because look, it's not good enough to go out there and tell stories unless you are making a point. Even when you're sharing stories with your friends, you are telling them something, they are waiting for the punchline, but more importantly, they are waiting for, okay, what's the point? Okay, what's the point? Sometime in a conversation, you interrupt the conversation, you start telling a story, and you have to come back to tell them the point, or sometimes they find out on their own. But you get my drift, right? You get what I'm saying. What I'm saying is how you overcome, okay, the conflict, the hurdles, okay, the obstacle, all right, is going to be the lesson that you're going to teach your audience members, right? I hope this helps. In the case of the executive, they're not going to go into all the details like that, all right? But they're still going to use some conflict in the story. Every story needs some conflict or contrast. Without that, it would not be an interesting story. Okay? Again, I'm going to close with this. If there's one skill that you need to master, whether you are a preacher, a teacher, a person just hanging out with friends and having a conversation, or meeting people, all right, or a speaker speaking in front of large audiences like myself, you need to master the art of storytelling. And the secret is conflict. All right? Take care. Have a good one.